changing the world once again with 3 questions at a time. It's your night, MJ night. And this is a Stephen Walker Emflorgo special. Been a while since I've done one of those. Question 1. Which of these franchises would you prefer to have a roller coaster ride based on them? Sonic the Hedgehog or Thunderbirds? I think both of them equally would be an interesting set of circumstances to have a roller coaster ride, but I could see Sonic being more of a natural go-to because there are actually loop-de-loops in the actual games, whereas Thunderbirds you don't really see that much. I don't see any reason why you couldn't have a roller coaster that looked like Thunderbird 2 and do it that way, but I think it looks more plausible for Sonic, because although International Rescue are all about getting to the rescue zone as quickly as possible, at the same time, because you're basing this on speed, it's going to be more sensible to put it for Sonic. That's what I do. Question 2. In terms of the next film in the Jurassic World trilogy, what themes and ideas would you like to see be tackled? I'd definitely like to see more of a horror theme put in there. Now, by extension, I don't mean it has to be all gore and that, but it has to have that suspension and scare factor put up. You know, really put an emphasis that these creatures are dangerous, and they're not animals that you approach lightly. I'd love to see Blue more involved. I'd like to see, where Isla Sorna fits into the whole scheme of things, because it was mentioned in Fallen Kingdom near the start, and we know there were some animals shipped from Sorna to Isla Nublar, but we don't know the status of what's happened with Isla Sorna. I'd like to see the dinosaurs taken to Isla Sorna to be like, that's their final place for living. Because here's the other thing, they said most of the animals from Sorna were shipped from there to Isla Nublar, so why was Rexy the only Tyrannosaur on Nublar? I feel like that's something that, Jurassic World 3 needs to address, and there's a video that Altiori put out recently, well, at the time of recording this on August 8, on August 15, she said the Velociraptor population by 2018 on Isla Sorna would be 2,688. That's just terrifying. Considering how smart, agile, and intelligent these creatures are, imagine a whole island with these predators on. It's just like, ugh. That's scary. But I'd like to see where does Isla Sorna sit in the whole thing? Because we saw at the end of Fallen Kingdom dinosaurs being taken off to be weaponized for warring nations. But I'd like to see more of a scare factor with number 3, and not jump scares, real, actual, decent horror, but without blood and gore. I don't want it necessarily to be like a gore fest from things like Dog Soldiers or various other horror movies. I just like it to be done in a way whereby, this is not your daddy's Jurassic Park. This is something uber scary. So that's what I'd like to see done. Question 3. Do you think a Transformers Thunderbirds crossover could work? If so, which versions of the series would you like to see interact? Well, considering Thunderbirds is approached with a very serious, but having a sense of humor and a little bit of light-hearted fun in between the rescues, I suppose it's got a very family-friendly version of Stephen Summers' The Mummy, where there's humor within action. There is comedy there, but it's not the sole focus. So maybe Transformers Prime, because I feel like the writing and the vocal delivery is more or less on par with Thunderbirds or Go, because I like Transformers G1, but when you look at the writing and the vocal delivery for that series, it's a little bit dated by today's standards. That's just my opinion. I know there's plenty of people that love it. I still enjoy it for what it is, but when you look at shows today where vocal delivery and voice talent is regarded as a big thing, whereas back then it's just like, we're just using this as a vehicle, no pun intended, to sell toys, whereas nowadays, vocal delivery is something that fans and potential fans care a lot about. That would be something to be really looked at. And considering ITV Studios, really look to get the best of the voiceovers out from the Tracys specifically, I feel like Transformers Prime would be the right way to go. Not the Michael Bay movies, because could you imagine the type of dialogue that occurs in that series and then mixing it with Thunderbirds or Go? It just wouldn't work, because we know that with Thunderbirds or Go there are things that they can and can't say because of the family demographic, but at the same time you're able to see what they're trying to get across, but without having to use certain profanities and what have you, and I feel like they do that well. So Transformers Prime is probably the best one to go with Thunderbirds or Go. That's my thought. Okay, those have been your 3 questions for this week. You know how the shtick works by now, and I will see you next week. Ask again.